Hello, everyone. Welcome to another DCU Daily. I'm back, everybody. I know you missed me so dang much, so here I am. Obviously, we are here to talk about news, which includes projections for this weekend in regards to a couple mid-tier hits like Black Phone 2 and Good Fortune. And then Zack Snyder is at it again. The man just can't leave well enough alone and is back posting pics of Henry Cavill as Superman. And then, of course, we have our hot take debate tonight. We got a couple hot takes that we will definitely be discussing a lot of tonight. And then our quick hits, which a lot of people love, usually when we keep them quick, maybe not when we keep them too long. But we got our quick hits. Then we have our DC quick hits for DCU Daily. Boom, mix that up a little bit, but we got there. And then we're going to talk about a more grand discussion with DC and Marvel, who won this year. Personally, I think the fans won this year, but that's beside the point. And then we're going to get into a little bit of a Q&A with a couple of your comments. So all of that and more is headed to you right now.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
Robert
You're
Downey.
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Boom, into the news. Welcome to the news, everybody. I am your host for today, John. Nice to see you. We do have a little bit of Dan, not fully Dan, but we have a little bit of Dan. Dan, how are you doing today on this wonderful ending of the week?
I'm good. I'm excited. Sorry, guys. I'm on audio only right now, but I'll see if I can get on camera a little bit later. But yeah, no, it's a busy Friday in the world of news as per usual. Excited about that.
Yes, most definitely, but I'll be taking the reins for the most part, but we shall get into our wonderful day in the neighborhood, possibly. But first things first, as I talked about in the intro, we're going to be talking about Black Phone 2, which is something I'm very excited about, being the quote-unquote horror guy. So apparently, Black Phone 2 rings up $2.6 million in previews, while the Good Fortune film featuring Keanu Reeves as an angel, perfect casting, and Aziz Ansari and Seth Rogen apparently only took home about $725,000, which, even though it did have some well-known stars and the trailer was playing a lot, too much for my liking. It kind of makes sense because Black Phone 2 franchise, big, and to be fair, that trailer was playing a lot too. So there was that. But I think this is great to see. I've heard a couple people say that this is most definitely a great follow-up to the first film. So I think this is great to see because I heard like kind of mixed things like in previews, not these previews, but previews from like people who get like a first look or like reviewers and that kind of thing and critics, and they're like, it's kind of okay, pretty good, but this shows that hey, this might actually be something. So obviously money doesn't mean everything, but it's nice to see that it had a good preview, and I've heard good things from people I know and actually care about, not like Rotten Tomatoes or anything. But
That's good to know.
and it's good for Blumhouse because
That is also
M3gan
true.
2.0 fucking bombed like hell. So hopefully this sequel can rise Blumhouse a little bit. I don't know. Blumhouse kind of sucks. They're mostly miss for me, but hopefully
I mean,
this is actually pretty great.
I mean, this is Blumhouse has had a pretty bad streak at the box office. Do you think this is gonna break that for them? Because I mean, the
I
numbers
hope
looking
so.
good.
I mean, it just goes to show, like, I think Jason Blum just could afford at this point to just like shit out like 3 or 4 flops a year, but then like have like one really good one that carries them over into next year. I don't know how much longer that can like benefit him at this point, but hopefully, they plan to do like the Exorcist movie with Mike Flanagan at the helm. Maybe that'll be something. I don't know, but hopefully this actually warrants something. And if this does a good job, we might even get like a fucking Black Phone 3, which who knows, but hopefully not if this actually ends properly. But even then, I mean, Scott Derrickson has had a pretty good year. The Gorge, I heard, was pretty good. That was an Apple TV straight to streaming film with Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is good to see, and the projections are also pretty good. It's the projection at this point is a $23 million opening, and in regards to that versus the budget's about $30 million, which I would say that's pretty good. It's almost like earned its entire budget back, which is pretty good, especially when it comes to horror movies. Usually horror movies can always survive at the box office um due to their much lower budgets, so that's also very helpful. but
Mm-hmm.
um but yeah, it looks like it's going to shape up for $23 million after Friday and previews, by the way, of $10.1 million. um
That's not a bad number at all. I mean,
yeah,
this is a great start for a sequel that I mean to a movie that I mean, remember the first movie? Nobody thought it was gonna do anything,
yeah,
and it was just it was one of those Blumhouse things where like, oh wow, Blumhouse is on a streak, and now they're, I think, bringing this out at the perfect time to break the kind of streak that we didn't, kind of like the MCU back in the day. We never thought MCU would be in quote unquote trouble. I think people, well, the perception is at least that Blumhouse is in trouble, and this is as good of a movie as any to potentially bail them out and put them back on the right track. So
right. Contrary, and since we're just talking about Good Fortune, it looks like Good Fortune is going to be at $2.5 million today, and then 6 million for the same amount of budget. So it just goes to show that people are interested in Black Phone and might not be interested in writer director Aziz Ansari, since Aziz Ansari cut some strays with controversy in regards to a certain something. So that kind of makes sense in Seth Rogen existing, and nobody likes Seth Rogen, so obviously that's not going to get anything. And Keanu Reeves can only do so much. So I'm happy for Black Phone 2. I think this is absolutely great to see, and as someone who's very excited for the movie, after two of my friends have said it's great, as well as a couple other reviewers I've seen, I think this is good. And it's also a good year for Mason Thames, because he was in How to Train Your Dragon, which was another big success, and then he's also in the super small budget Nicholas Sparks esque film Regretting You. And that looks like it's good for that audience. So he's definitely covered a lot of bases. He's got a blockbuster horror sequel, and then small budgeted film that can get other types of audiences and demographics and seats. So yeah, no, it's not going to be A24. It's not going to be Neon. It's not going to even be fucking IFC. So I think it's safe to say that yeah, Blumhouse is kind of but yeah, I think this is good to see, but we're gonna move on
Yeah,
to
let us know what you got. I mean, you guys let us know in the
let us know what
comments.
your guys' thoughts are on
Yeah.
this. Are you guys excited to see Black Phone 2? Are you guys excited to see Good Fortune? Are you excited to see I don't know, is Tron Ares even still in theaters anymore? Like after a week, it sounds like it's getting pulled already. So like
Well, no, they're gonna keep it in. I don't know if that means anything at this point because it's gonna be a flop. Like I don't think Tron's gonna make enough
also
money to
thank you,
justify anything.
Tron, for your noble sacrifice for taking Jared Leto off of leading man status. We will always remember you as the franchise that never could get its proper way. So 21 gun salute. We appreciate you, Tron. Your sacrifice will never be forgotten.
Three
But it's for a
movies,
noble
5
cause.
decades. None of them have been hits. They all flopped. That's wild
It's
to
the
think about,
franchise that
right?
could never get there.
It's it's kind of wild though. Like 3 decades, not three, 5 decades. Like what was the first movie came out in the 80s? Was it or
82.
the
Yeah.
yeah? Holy shit. Pardon my French, but that is wild. I mean, I think the second one was underrated. I think a lot of people think that in hindsight. The first one, for its time, was revolutionary, and I think a lot of it's like a
Hmm.
cult classic. But again, cult classic by definition are movies that generally didn't do well at the box office. So,
Hmm.
yeah. And then of course the new one seems to have missed the mark on all of those fronts. So it's like it's the what was the last Indiana Jones? It's the Dial of Destiny of the Tron franchise,
Exactly.
whatever that means. Um, yeah, goodbye, Tron. At least it looks like the best thing it's gonna have is probably, you know what they will probably need to do. They'll need to do like a Prey slash Predator sort of revival where they maybe make a movie for Hulu years down the road or a TV show, and then if they do a good enough of
Well,
a
Hulu's
job.
not going to be a thing anymore
Oh, right,
next
Disney
by next
Plus.
year, so who knows?
That's true. That's true. No, that's a good point. Good point.
So it'll have to be on Disney Plus.
We got lots of people in the chat. All right, we got D Cole here. All right, just some geeky guy. A lot of you guys have already seen the new movie. Well, Black Phone 2. That's great. Monique is having a fantastic dinner on Friday, a Friday night dinner. Figure Drawing is here, of course. Awesome to see you guys. Yeah, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
Unfortunately, we have to talk about this because
Mhm.
Dan made the rundown for today. So, you know, we got to talk about Zack Snyder again.
Come on.
But
Zaddy's
apparently,
here.
Zack Snyder has shared a new shot of Cavill's Man of Steel from Batman vs Superman. But it seems like he posted on, was it Vero or Twitter or whatever the fuck he's on? Okay, it was Instagram.
No. Actually, he's joined. So this is the thing. He's now officially joined Instagram.
Yeah.
And I guess this is his third week on Instagram. And he posted a photo of Henry Cavill. I think it's from Batman v Superman, clearly.
Yeah, it says
But
BVS right here.
yeah. What did you say? He said Henry Cavill is Superman. I mean, look, it's just he likes. I think he likes to post these photos much like he used to back in the day on Vero, as like, oh look, this is a work of art, you know, and this is the title of that work of art, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Personally, you know this. You remember remember the story of the Japanese soldier that kept fighting the World War II 29 years after it ended? This is giving those same vibes. And I'll just leave it at that. It's over, bro. Just stop. It's over. It's like Ferris Bueller at the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's over. Go home.
Go home.
It's okay. You can just go home. It's fine. We won't judge you. We won't hate you. I mean, some people won't hate you, but like, it's okay. It's like the end of Mice and Men, or it's just like, okay, Lenny, remember the rabbits. It's okay, buddy. Just remember the rabbits. And it's just like, God, just Move the fuck on. God damn, bro. It's years ago at this point. It's done. We're good. It's okay. Just god
I mean,
damn.
but John, I guess the question here would be: is he's not implying any? I mean, is he implying that like there's still?
I
mean, this is
sure as shit fucking hope not.
because I mean, my impression would be, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Uh, here's the thing. I mean, Henry Cavill's still in amazing shape, by the way. Have you seen? Is he like rocking a mullet or something these days? Because was it
It
Highland?
seems like he is, like, because that's what he showed when he was showing off his broken leg after he got it from Highlander. So there's that.
Yeah.
So
Henry Cavill won the internet with a broken freaking leg. Somebody's gonna get that reference. Um, but
damn,
no,
imagine
it's
thinking that after one bad TV episode, your entire universe is over. That's crazy. That's
I mean,
fucking
look,
crazy, bro.
I think honestly, I don't think Zack Snyder's intent here is to lead us along with some kind of, like, oh yeah, no, I'm trying to get back in the game with DC movies and anything. I think he's literally just posting. He admires his work. Like I give Zack Snyder credit for being somebody who is. I mean, as a lot of filmmakers are tortured by what they have done because
Actually, no.
it's never perfect, right? And I'm sure Zack Snyder has regrets about like, oh man, I could have done this better
Jersey
and this
Mike's
differently.
really good.
James Gunn and every filmmaker, like Ron Howard says, every project will ultimately to find a way to find
Oh
its
no,
way of
guys!
breaking your
One
heart.
guy thought all three DCU projects are bad. Oh god, guys, the DCU's cooked. JC said all three were bad. Close up shop, guys. We're done. All right, James Gunn, tear it down. JC thought it was bad, guys. Gotta close up shop. Get Zack Snyder's bombs back in here. Let's go. Come on, we gotta close it down now. Gotta close it down. Some guy on the internet said it sucked. Gotta end it. Just like ignore the fact that like James Gunn is technically the most successful comic book filmmaker of all time now. But like, yeah, just close up shop, guys. Gotta just close it up. Close it up. One guy said it sucked. Here we go. Here we go.
I mean, I was just saying though, I think this is one of those situations where Zack Snyder is, proud of his work and he's just sharing that. Like he's done many times before. I
know.
don't think
I'm
should
just
take
being a
this
silly
as...
Billy. That's all.
No, I know. I'm just, but yeah, I was just trying to. But speaking of which, since we're on the subject, John, maybe you want to humor me for a moment, or maybe a little more than a moment, because if I say a moment, you're just gonna be like yes or no. But I want to. I think we've had this conversation before, but I think it's worth adding to. We have a fan cast Friday coming up after this show, and it's very apt that today we will be talking about Henry Cavill in the DCU, ironically enough. But if Zack Snyder were to come back, like what would be a good fit for him in the DCU? Like, is there something something that's either on the horizon or something? Because I mean, we've talked about like the ideal fit. I'm just thinking of what's out there in terms of everything that's been announced is in development, or would there be a good fit anywhere for Zack Snyder as a director? Could he direct a TV thing? Would you want him to direct a movie that we don't yet have a director for in the DCU? I mean, even a Swamp Thing, which technically, like it seems like it may or may not ever happen.
I think the most Zack Snyder should do, give him an Elseworld story at the very most, let him finish his vision, get Justice League 2 and 3 out, but maybe in like animated form, so you don't have to like bring people back and all this other shit. That's fine. Do that. I think Sorry. Because that is,
Bless you.
I think, where people like him, where people want to watch him and all that shit. Just have, just do that. Like, I can't see him being part of the DCU. Like, it just like it does. I feel like his vision wouldn't fit. I just that's what I think. I just think he needs to designate himself to what he wants to do and what he knows if he wants to continue that. Maybe have him direct a fucking Dark Knight Returns Elseworld story, because he said that was the one thing that would bring him back to DC if he could direct a Dark Knight Returns adaptation. So have him do that. Just have him stick with Elseworld stories. That's what he wants to do. I can't imagine him, you know.
But like of all the stuff that's already on the calendar, I mean, I think The Authority is probably something that Zack Snyder could, because I mean he did Watchmen, right? And then you could see that style of filmmaking. It did lend itself better to a Watchmen like story than obviously the mainline DCU. So like you said, Elseworlds, or potentially give him The Authority, which is sort of a like a riff on your iconic DC characters anyway. With like anti-hero twist. And you can take him in a different direction. I mean, especially if The Authority doesn't directly tie into the, I mean, I guess it would depend on how closely tied in it is to the rest of the DCU, because Zack Snyder at this stage of his career wants a lot of creative freedom, particularly with his past experiences with DC. So, hello.
Hello, there he is. Yay. Yay.
Hello.
Dan on
Hi.
camera, still with the fake background, but hey, baby steps.
Hey. I mean, there's stuff going on in the background I don't want to showcase. And don't get any ideas. I don't mean people are gonna read too much into that. But anyway, the point is, I was just saying, The Authority, if it's something that Zack Snyder
Damn,
can
bro,
kind of go
we're
in and,
getting a lot of haters in the chat right now. This is crazy. Just bring up
really?
Snyder's name once, and all of them come out of the woodwork in the dark corners of the internet.
Oh,
Crazy.
Luke is who? Oh, Luke, we got. Oh God. Okay.
Uh,
Wow.
do you literally have someone in blackface as your profile picture? That's crazy. I don't know. It
I
looks
don't.
like either blackface or yellowface. I don't know,
Anyway.
but
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to the chat, guys. If you haven't already, hit subscribe.
yeah, don't try not to be racist, try not to be sexist, and try not to be homophobic. And we're pretty much getting all three right off the bat. Thanks, Snyder Tards. We love and appreciate you.
But like I was saying, I think if it's The Authority and The Authority doesn't, like, if he can do it with a
No,
lot
I
of creative
did,
freedom,
Monique. I
then
did.
Zack Snyder
See?
could do
I
that.
showed off the box. It's Jersey Mike's. It's not Costco. It's Jersey Mike's. But Dan was talking, and I didn't want to interrupt him. But now I'm saying Jersey Mike's. It was a Jersey Mike's cookie. Very good cookie, surprisingly.
Well, look,
good.
here's the okay, to address Mir. Look, I'm not saying that The Authority is coming out. I'm saying it's kind of on the shelf right now in terms of it's in a bit of a holding pattern, because it's like James Gunn said, a lot of the ideas got used up in Superman and other stuff. So I get that it's not really out, on the horizon necessarily, but that's my point. I'm like, if you were to give Zack Snyder a project like that, where it's semi-independent of the DCU, or maybe completely Elseworlds, speaking of like one of the projects that's already been announced, that could work. That's all I was saying. That's a hot take question right there, Game Freakness, because it depends. I personally like both, sets of movies from the directors. I think Zack Snyder's done some really good work. So has James Gunn. I personally liked a lot of Zack Snyder's movies in the DCEU, and so far I've liked Superman, and I love the Guardians movies. So I guess I like both. I do like both. And no, Superman did not flop in 2025. Superman made money. It was profitable. That is actually an objective fact. Yeah, I mean, track records wise, you could say James Gunn has had better success in terms of popularity of the movies, and at the box office, you can look at the numbers between the two directors. It's not that far apart actually if you look at the careers of the two directors, because James Gunn started out with smaller movies, but then eventually with the Guardians, the trilogy and everything, he's made a lot of money.
I mean, that seems
You
like
could
what
look
they're
at
trying
Zack
to do,
Snyder's work.
JC.
So yeah. But anywho, Zack Snyder posted, which looks like an amazing photo of Henry Cavill, and of course Justice is gray like
At
black
least
and
we
white
can agree on
photo.
something, JC. We can
So
definitely agree on that.
good for Zack Snyder. I love that he's still, obviously he loves the work that he did. and he's proud of it, and he's happy to share it. And he's on Instagram now. It looks like Vero finally died after a long, slow death. So, good luck to Zack Snyder and his future endeavors. Right now, John, I believe we've got some hot takes. So let's hit that intro, shall we? And then we got a hot take debate coming up.
Wait,
You
no, we
guys,
still have a couple more
do
DC
we?
topics to talk
Oh, we
about in the
do. Oh,
news.
never mind. I kind of skipped ahead.
So don't jump the gun. I know. Oh God, half the chat just got triggered just by me saying that. But we do have a couple more things to get into in terms of the news before we get into hot take debate. But for all the Snyder cultists in the chat, try not to piss your pants at this. But we are covering DCU stuff because this is DCU Daily. So James Gunn shares some insights on his upcoming project. It's a part of the plan for the DCU. There is one big story. It involves Salvation, Rick Flag, Lex, and Superman. So those I'm going to be directing. So with this,
but the other thing was, I think if you go to the original post here, I like that Frank Grillo, because again, you know, the finale of Peacemaker season 2, which
this is
I
from
think
Frank Grillo, by the way.
recontextualizes a lot of the season. Huh? I said
Yeah,
Frank
this
Grillo,
is
right?
from Frank Grillo himself.
From
That's
Frank
what I
Grillo,
said.
yeah. I mean, he's reposting it from one of those fan accounts, DC Updates, which, you know, do a good job of covering all these updates from
DC
this world
Updates
of
is
the
really
DC.
good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Frank Grillo posted his message was, James Gunn is a master of this world. I have little idea what's to come, what is to come, but I'm excited to see what's next for DC. Hashtag have
I have
faith.
gone on rants against James Gunn, but like, yeah, sure, live in your little dream world, buddy.
We try to walk the line, but hey, here's the thing. You could clearly tell Frank Grillo posting this saying hashtag have faith, James Gunn is the master of this world. It's all about just, you know, there's a vision, and he's reassuring us that, you know, this is going somewhere. And like, sure, we're going to talk about this a little bit more as the show goes on, John. In fact, I think the next thing you can go to here.
Oh, hey, Tony entered the chat.
Hey, Tony, hello. Tony. If you go to the IMDb ratings for Peacemaker,
yes, I think we're covering that later, but yes.
Oh, sorry. Okay, never mind. So, but basically, the point I was trying to make is, if you look at the fan reaction, clearly it's the end of the season for Peacemaker.
We are going to be getting into that later, JC, when we're talking about DCU Daily. Don't worry, we are going to be getting.
We'll get into that. I mean, this post is clearly in response to the whole idea that currently the sentiment around DC has not exactly soured, but it's not as good as it was a couple of weeks ago. So Frank Grillo is trying to do a little bit of damage control, which I understand. So,
and then the next one, it's just kind of a cute, wholesome thing with you know, a stunt coordinator who played one of the zombies in one of the worlds that they were going into in Peacemaker episode 8 was apparently his daughter was the little girl in the trailer that Superman saves, and he got really emotional about it, and just kind of a nice little just kind of a nice little, just more wholesome thing. Like, that's so nice.
This is the part about the having faith, right? Like it's I think the humanity of how James Gunn goes about doing things. This was a good reminder for me that, you know, basically to contextualize this. I mean, it says it in the post. The stuntman you're seeing, he's watching the first trailer for Superman. So this is from December, I want to say, probably, when they were filming episode 8 of Peacemaker. So you could tell like the timeline of when this was taken. And essentially, you could see how proud the stunt coordinator is, just watching his daughter on screen, because she was the one that Superman saves in that shot with all the canisters,
oxygen tanks, or whatever the hell.
Tanks flying, with the slow-mo shot. It's just, I mean, this is a great dad moment. It's also a great human moment. You could see, I mean, you know, clearly, like, James Gunn is trying. He loves the people he works with, and he cares about that. I'm not saying that he's the only one. I mean, a lot of directors do, but he's certainly somebody who, I mean, whether you look at this as like this is a great PR move, or whether you look at it as, you know what, James Gunn is sharing a really, really nice moment, which I just love to see. You just love to see it. Like, this was one of the best parts of the entire movie, even if it was only a few seconds, and they marketed the hell out of it for all the right reasons. But yeah, I mean, you know, you could tell like there was tears coming out of this stunt coordinator who was in full makeup as a zombie for the Peacemaker season finale. I guess he can also not share this until after the Peacemaker finale, because otherwise it would have ruined, like, spoiled the Peacemaker season finale features some kind of zombie thing. So that also makes sense. The timing of this is coming out after Peacemaker. So like, if there's a conspiracy theory of damage control, I think it's because the finale of Peacemaker would have been spoiled by this if it had been posted any sooner. So, but this is great. I mean, this to me kind of says, all right, you know what, James Gunn is the right person. Stick by him. And this is the other thing too, John. Remember, we have talked about it back in the day of the DCEU. Basically, what would happen is they would stumble and then change directions. Like they would make a 90-degree turn. And that's what led to the first Suicide Squad movie being completely recut. And then obviously everything that happened after with Zack Snyder getting fired and whatnot. We need to stick through some of these downturns. And if you want to call the end of Peacemaker season 2 a bit of a downturn, then let's stick with it for now, right? Because that's what Marvel did
for
in the early
me,
days too.
in a way, it would be like almost, and I don't know if I made the comparison on this show or not, but it kind of the vibe that I get would be like, oh, Kevin Feige should get fired after Iron Man 2 failed. That's like the vibe I get. Like Iron Man 2 was like the first like pretty weak movie of the MCU. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like Incredible Hulk either, but that was like by a different company, so like a lot of people weren't even sure that was in the same continuity. So, you had Iron Man, you had, Incredible Hulk, and then Iron Man 2 was like the first like really bad like studio meddled movie. So, I think I think that's like kind of the vibe I'm getting. It's just like, oh, he made one bad thing, so that means it should end. Meanwhile, Man of Steel failed to hit it with audiences. Was it a financial success? Sure, that's why they continued. Then BVS, still a financial success, but again, it didn't hit it with the fans. And then Suicide Squad, again, these were financial successes, but at the same time, like every movie, like, Man of Steel didn't hit it, BVS didn't hit it, Suicide Squad didn't hit it, and then finally, Justice League being a studio metal movie, finally, that was like the thing that really brought this thing crumbling down.
Well, I will say this though, John, like there were a few. So you can't forget Wonder Woman.
Well, I meant like in terms of like that was the first positively received movie of the DCEU. I'm talking about all the failures in terms of the critical. So that was mainly like it's just like fair. It's just like, oh, it's like, oh, this one thing failed. Yet a lot of people liked Creature Commandos, again, that had a little bit of a rough ending. Then a lot of people liked Superman, and then a lot of people like Peacemaker outside of the rough ending, because literally everything I've seen of this is like everything was great until that last episode. So you have 3 very well received shows and 3 successes, maybe not as big of successes as one would want, but this is still like new and like kind of going up. But like it's kind of like the opposite in a way. But again, this isn't a post-COVID world, so there is that as well. But it's just like it seems to be with general audiences and fans, and that's something they want to tap into. And each pretty much the one thing that you can make money on, which is a movie. TV is like through like sponsors and streaming service.
It's advertising revenue, but it's also they have metric. They have ways to figure out how the percentage of what people pay for their streaming subscriptions. There's accounting methods to figure out how much.
I'm just saying it's just like there's a lot of different things. You can't just say, oh, Peacemaker episode 8 sucked. Right. That means this guy is going to get fired. Now, maybe he does. Who fucking knows? We can't really tell. The only thing that we have in terms of like merger shit going on is that WB said no to Paramount's bid. And that's all we have. The first bid. Paramount's going to fucking make another one. David Ellison is a money-hungry fucking asshole, so of course he's going to make another bid. So we're just going to have to sit and wait, and we're just going to have to see what happens in regards to that. Could he get fired? Maybe the DC universe gets fucking rebooted again with another guy, and then DC is just going to keep catching L's until the head honcho fucking starts nuclear war and we all get blown up. So, who fucking knows at this point? It's just for right now, that's not what it's looking like. And the only proof that we have is like one fake article from a news source that habitually makes things up. That's the only thing we have. So, it's just, I don't know. It's just like a whole thing. Can he? Maybe. Of course, anything is possible. Tomorrow, I can walk down the street and find $1 million in a duffel bag. Is it likely? Probably not, but it could still happen. That's like kind of the thing of like, can he get fired? Sure, absolutely. He can get fired. He cannot get fired. Like, it's Schrodinger's Gunn DC Universe ownership. Like, I don't know. It's just like a whole
It's
thing.
also
It's like,
like we have talked about this at length. It doesn't mean it's not an automatic. It's not a certainty. It's not like if Paramount buys DC, and that's a big if, that James Gunn would be out the door the first day Paramount takes over. There's no guarantee of that, especially because they're delivering financially. Like you said, it's hard to tell, like, at least to the public. I mean, on the inside the hallways of Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers Discovery, they will know if Peacemaker was a success financially, especially like in the months to come as the show gets distribution elsewhere. And you'll see, it pops up in other places, especially I think eventually it's going to be on physical media probably. So they will know that. And I think by and large, with Superman being the highest grossing superhero movie of the year, they're in a good place, and they've got 2 movies coming out next year. They've got a TV show. They've got a lot more in the bank. So I think it's too early to tell. Like, this is where exactly the moment. This is kind of the moment, almost exactly in terms of
it
like
happened
the
in
amount of time.
2023.
Well, I'm saying this is like where the DCEU was when they started to tinker and change things up, and then it led to like more problems. I think with the DCU, we gotta let these guys do their thing. Like, nobody needs to go in and completely recut Supergirl like a trailer. Nobody needs to go in and
Clickbait,
fire the
Troy.
director
Clickbait.
of Man of Tomorrow halfway through filming the movie. Like, none of that stuff needs to happen. Let James Gunn and company, because here's the thing: you either die, live or die with the vision that you have. You stick with your guns. You make some adjustments, and I'm sure James Gunn will make adjustments because the fan feedback does matter. So, with that said, John, I think we're still in the early years of DC. So, is Zack Snyder? Hi, Troy. We were talking about, there was a photo of Henry Cavill from his Man of Steel days, from Batman v Superman, actually, that Zack Snyder posted on Instagram saying Henry Cavill is Superman. And I think what he meant it as was like, if he was posting a painting, that was the name of that painting, because Zack Snyder, obviously really appreciates his own work, which or admires his own work, which I think a lot of some artists hate their own work. They can't look at it after they're done with it. Other artists are like, what, that was pretty damn good. I'm proud of it. So Zack Snyder clearly is proud of it. We were just talking about, does that mean Zack Snyder might be coming back to DC because he got burned pretty bad the last time? So as of right now, it doesn't feel like he has any reason to, although he's supportive of James Gunn. James Gunn and Zack have both said that. They shook hands. There was world peace for a moment when Zack Snyder and James Gunn were in the same office, and they're both working on the same studio lot right now, so I'm sure it's going to be fine. I don't think Zack Snyder is going to do a DC thing anytime soon, but John, I think we're going to be doing a hot take debate soon, aren't we?
Yes, most definitely.
Let's hit that intro, man, because I'm ready for it.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Who is that?
Retarded.
Retired. I'm already in the void. I'm not trying to get canceled again.
I don't like you.
And when you take on the responsibility, great power will come.
Chicks dig the car.
This is why Superman works alone.
Black rubber.
Ooh, you nasty, mon beauté rouge. Les éléments de ton relais, hein?
Not a single word.
You bring your skirt, psyche.
I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Pathetic. Psychopath. Begging for attention.
You were just leaving.
Oh, no, A nobody.
There we go. Let's get into the hot take debates. Because God knows we have a couple of them, not a ton, but like enough that'll probably ruffle some feathers.
Oh, there will definitely be a few that ruffle a few feathers. I can guarantee you that.
But are you ready to start? Are you
I'm ready to
really ready
start.
to start?
I'm ready.
Okay,
You put
so
him up, we knock him down. That's how we
let's
roll.
get into the first one. We got a lot of horror stuff today because it's spooky time, so we gotta get into the hot horror takes, and which I'm here for because I'm a horror guy. You can see the Evil Dead poster behind me. There it is.
All right.
But hot take: Candyman 2021 is one of the worst horror movies of the 2020s. It's a garbage movie that disrespects the original and pushes agenda first and gets the point of the original wrong. Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I liked it when it first came out.
Does not.
But now looking back on it, yeah, I can kind of see the flaws. I don't hate it. I don't think it's like horrible by anything, but it does kind of disrespect the original of what was done there, and it like pretty much ignores Virginia Madsen's contributions to the franchise for the sake of whatever the fuck Nia DaCosta and Jordan Peele were thinking with this one. So yeah, I can kind of agree with this, but not totally. Like, I don't think it's like half-star garbage, but I don't think it's as great as I initially thought it was. So I don't know if you ever watched it, but
I did not. But I mean, Figure Drawing feels pretty strongly that it was not a bad movie. Oh hell no! All right, Tony's like nothing will top the original. Okay, it wasn't supposed to be a that's what I remember, that they didn't market it as nostalgia bait at all. So
yeah, and like, just because it isn't nostalgia bait doesn't make it good, and just because it is nostalgia bait doesn't automatically make it bad. I mean, everyone and their fucking mother went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine, and that was hardcore nostalgia bait. Yet that made $1 billion, and this, wasn't marketed nostalgia bait, but yet it's kind of not really all that great. So, yeah, I agree. I appreciate, even though maybe he doesn't like hit it every time, producing or directing or writing wise, but he can still do a great job. So
I'm down with that. All right, let's keep on rolling.
Let's keep on rolling. Howl's Moving Castle is overrated and the weakest Hayao Miyazaki film. I don't think it's the worst. I think it's the second worst. It's not bad, but it's very overrated. It's too convoluted and contrived for most of it, and it has like, it's kind of like firing on all cylinders and like jumbled like 14 plots into one and expected something great to come out of it, and it's just kind of not bad. It's okay, but not. I mean, the best part about it was definitely Billy Crystal and Christian Bale. The rest of it is just kind of but they can usually deliver something great. But yeah, Howl's Moving Castle is kind of bland.
I don't know if I don't feel one or two ways about that, honestly, because I haven't seen Howl's Moving Castle all the way through. So yeah, I trust your opinion on that.
Don't get me wrong, Hayao Miyazaki, fucking excellent. Spirited Away, considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest, animated movie of all time. Got Kiki's Delivery Service, Princess Mononoke, like the man, The Wind Rises, Boy and the Heron. Like, the man delivers like 9 times out of 10, but once in a blue moon he can deliver some weak sauce stuff. But for the most part, I mean, yeah, Boy and the Heron absolutely deserved to win Best Animated Feature a couple years ago. So, boom.
Yeah,
Spirited
but
Away.
I mean, everybody's allowed one bad day at the office, and yeah, even then,
yeah, and even then, like, I can kind of agree with that. Like Howl's Moving Castle, I'd give like a solid 6. Like, it's not bad. It's pretty good. It was just like, it's not like, I don't think it's one of even close to one of his best. I think it's weak. It's not bad. It's just weak. But that's just
it's right. I hear you. All right.
Now we get into another one. Oh, damn. Now I can't comment on this. I haven't seen Battleship, but
That's
producer
the problem. Why didn't you see Battleship?
some of Rihanna's best work shouldn't have flopped at the box office. Honestly,
It's a great
I
movie.
would take I haven't seen Battleship, but I would take Battleship over the Drek that's coming out of the box office now. Battleship might not be have nothing to do with the board game it's based on, but like I'll still fucking take it over whatever shit's being shit at into theater. I'll fucking take it over the Minecraft movie. Like, I know that's apples and oranges. One's a kid's movie, one's not, but I'll still fucking take Battleship over that. I haven't even seen it, but I just remember watching one scene that included AC/DC's Thunderstruck, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's not all bad. And
not
Rihanna
bad.
having a best work of something, yeah, she's not an actor. Of course, she's gonna suck in most movies.
I liked it. I think this is one of those movies where Universal spent, I think, like close 200 million some odd dollars making it, and then with marketing and stuff, it barely made its budget back. I don't even think it made its budget back, quite frankly. It came out at a time where I think the market was too saturated with mid-tier and bad. Like they had Battle LA and Battle Los Angeles and a bunch of what was that other one where God, there were like too many, and then not Alien, Independence Day Resurgence came out and all that stuff. There were a lot of really bad
The budget
alien
was
invasion
220
movies.
and it made 303.
Yeah, like it barely, like it didn't make a profit. So it's one of those movies which I think deserved a lot better, because if it came out in a different year or maybe a few years after that whole oversaturation of the market, hello Mario, I think it would have done a lot better, because it's an enjoyable movie. Because I think much like this year with Tron Ares being probably the death knell of Jared Leto as a leading man in Hollywood,
Thank God.
that movie Battleship I think was the unfortunate death knell of Taylor Kitsch as a leading man. So sorry, I lost track of what I was saying in the middle of the sentence, but it deserved a lot better. It just did.
I'll take your word for it, as I haven't seen it, but yeah, AC/DC rocks. So I'll give it that. And Jared let go. Am I right?
Yeah, yay. I will say this though, Tony, the movie, yes, it's got all the tropes of like a popcorn flick, but that's what makes it fun. Like I'm not going into watching Battleship to like watch a good movie. So it's a fun movie. Like I enjoy it every single time. It's a great popcorn flick. I love it.
Hell yeah. Then next up we have Tron Ares is the best Tron sequel despite the lack of Tron. Yeah, like Tron died in the last one. How the fuck are they gonna call this one Tron? Tron's dead. Like it makes no sense.
Tron
Ares killing off Harry Potter after the third movie and then keep calling the movies Harry Potter. Makes no sense.
I think what he Tony does not agree with my take. But what he means by that is they can come into the real world, so you don't get like the light cycles on the grid moment as much, which is obviously what Tron was built on. I mean, whatever that means. Is it the best Tron movie? I think the best one is Tron. I'm forgetting it right now.
Legacy.
I was gonna say like Tron, not Ares. Yeah, the one in the middle with Joseph Kosinski directing. That was definitely the best Tron movie. And considering the kind of, I mean, look, there's a lot of great AI based and a lot of great de-aging work that happens in movies today, but there's also a lot of bad de-aging work we have seen in the years since. I think the Jeff Bridges de-aging work they did in Tron Legacy, it ages a lot better than most people might remember. So yeah. Yeah, remember Monique? There was a lot of, you had Independence Day Resurgence, Skyrim, Battle Los Angeles. There's a bunch of mid-tier sci-fi alien invasion.
You mean Pacific Rim? Skyrim is a video game about medieval fantasy.
No. I'm thinking of a different movie. It was literally the people who were making Battle Los Angeles got fired. Then they went and made Skyline. That was the movie. Yeah, I remember. Like it had basically the same plot too. But yeah, Tron. Yeah. Anyway, Battleship deserved better. Tron Ares weak sauce compared to Tron Legacy. I think these are some good takes. I don't know how hot they are, but they're good takes.
I mean, we agreed with most.
Pretty much.
So, I mean, you include one. You didn't include mine. You're just worried about more Zack Snyder talk, so mine was not included. But maybe next time. Next time, baby.
Next time. Oh God, that doesn't bode well. But no, we'll save a few for Monday.
Don't worry, unlike Terrence Howard, I don't beat people. I don't beat up women, so you know. Anyway, so you know, now we have to get into something a little bit quicker, and that is this quick hits.
Hello, let's get into the quick hits, baby.
So let's remove that. Get this on screen, and first quick hit, but Zendaya and Robert Pattinson's A24 rom-com The Drama lands April 2026 release. Yes, the movie that caused 1,000 rumors that Robert Pattinson was going to play Harry Osborn. So yeah, I don't know if I'll watch this. I like Robert Pattinson. Zendaya is okay, a little oversaturated, but she's fine. I don't know if I'm going to see this, but that's cool for anybody interested.
And by oversaturation, of course, you mean that there's too much of her in a lot of things. Never mind. I'm just trying to beat back the rumors. Kidding. I'm kidding.
I don't even know what you're fucking talking about right now.
Never mind.
Damn, Tony.
Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. Look, I can't wait to see what this turns into. It's a rom-com. It's A24. April 2026 is not that far off. I haven't seen a lot of Christopher Borgli's work, so we'll see. We'll see. I mean, hey, Robert Pattinson, I like that he's doing like one big movie and one small movie, right? So he's keeping
yes. Okay. So Christopher Borgli, he did he did Dream Scenario. I like Dream Scenario. I thought that was pretty good. But apparently he also might have done Death of a Unicorn, I will say Death of a Unicorn, worst movie I've seen all year. And to be fair, I haven't seen a lot of bad movies, but no, that wasn't directed by Borgli. Okay, I thought I didn't think it was. But yeah, I mean, I like Dream Scenario. I thought that was good. But I don't know. I'm not really interested in this, but I hope people enjoy it. But next up, apparently Neon acquires Steven Soderbergh film, who's just cranking them out. He cranked out 2 movies this year, The Presence and Black Bag. And apparently he's got another one. And Neon acquired it, which definitely might be, them and A24 might be duking it out. But the Michaela Cole and Ian McKellen star in the family drama set in the world of fine art. So
it looks interesting. It got a lot of praise at TIFF, so I'm glad, because you look at the cast. I mean, beyond just Ian McKellen, they've got a ton of other big actors in this, which doesn't always mean great things, but it's set in the world of fine art, and that world is full of deception and all kinds of drama that we can get into. So, and anytime there's a movie about fine art, I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see how it turns out. I haven't seen it yet, obviously. I just heard all the praise for it. So.
But next up, 85-year-old Al Pacino and 82-year-old Robert De Niro celebrate over 50 years of friendship in a new campaign for Moncler. I don't even know what that is, but nice to see 2 old guys with children that are way too young, showcasing how fucking awesome life used to be.
I mean, John, aren't these what quick hits are made of? Friendship, and I mean, when you have known your friends that long, it might as well be family, right? Am I right?
Your brother never told you never threaten a man's family?
Thank you. And high-end coats. Those are some great looking coats they had on.
Anyway, but I will say this: Ryan Reynolds, he fucking annoys the hell out of me, especially with his garbage Mint Mobile ads. I'll give this one a pass. But apparently Ryan Reynolds has co-starred with the real Tilly Norwood in new Mint Mobile ads. So after the whole debacle with the AI actress named Tilly Norwood, well, Ryan Reynolds found a real one, and she starred in the new Mint Mobile ads. So That's interesting, and honestly,
So
kind of
apparently, this Tilly Norwood is an actual Mint Mobile customer, and the ad is for like I think it's for like the home internet offering for Mint.
Yes,
they're calling it Minternet. So
God, how long do you think it took for them to figure that one out?
That's probably a Ryan Reynolds special. Oh, by the way, we do love a good Vin Diesel excuse, because if you guys are members, which I know a couple of you guys have already joined in, there's a special custom emoji with Vin Diesel in it. So, and a whole lot of Dom Toretto. Do take advantage of that, if you will. But anyway, let's keep on rolling here.
Okay, so next up, we got South Park abruptly ends season 27 after just 5 episodes. Kicks off season 28 with 6-7, Obsessed Cartman and Peter Thiel. So, I don't know why they did this. The only good theory I've seen is that they want the number of seasons to match up with how many years they've been on the air. And they've been on the air for 28 years, so they want to have a season that lines up with that. That's the only plausible theory I've seen why they just ended it after 5 episodes. Or it's just Paramount being assholes, which, like, yeah, they're stuck with this after paying like fucking nearly $2 billion for it. So they're like, all right, let's try to fuck with it as much as we can, but also like keep it on the air so that we get our money's worth. So,
It would make sense. It would make sense. It could also be a money thing because they just extended them with a new deal. So
yeah, that's what
maybe
I was talking about, yeah.
From here, like they get, whatever pay raise they might have gotten, however that ties into the deal. I know that's an oversimplification, but that might be another reason. So there you go.
6-7. Anyway, the youths. Apple TV and Peacock Inc. extensive streaming bundle deal. In addition to getting both services at a discount of more than 30%, Apple TV will add select Peacock programming, while Peacock will get select Apple TV Plus shows. Probably all the shitty ones that both don't want. So like, all right, you can have these on your shitty service. All right, you can have these on your shitty service. So, No,
I'm okay with this because it's also, it's a bundle deal too. So you get to have both together, which is nice. Look, Apple definitely has, I think, a higher batting average in terms of the quality of programming they have between them and Peacock. Peacock, though, has a bigger library because obviously NBC Universal, everything, Universal Pictures has done everything that they have done for NBC, like on television, USA Network, like Psych. I love Psych. A lot of these, like, library shows. You got, of course, all the other sitcoms that they've made, The Office, of course, Parks and Recreation, The Paper, like you see that right there. But with Apple, you're getting Apple TV, you're getting a lot of the stuff that is famous and popular right now with Severance, and you're getting, of course, things like Foundation and The Morning Show. What's the new stuff that they've got The Studio, Severance. So more Ted Lasso. So it just this is a good deal. At a time when people are strapped for cash and looking to save money, this is a great reason, because Apple just raised their prices. Peacock didn't not too long ago raise their prices. This is a good way for people to save a few bucks. I like the deal. I wish they just all got together and did one big bundle. Oh, cable? Did somebody say? No. Okay. So
anyway, but that's not the only deal that Apple struck. Apparently, we were discussing this for a while, but now the ink is dry. Apple and F1 strike $750 million 5-year U.S. streaming rights deal. So after F1 the movie got wet Apple's whistle in terms of the money they could get, they're like, all right,
it's also
let's
like
get the actual
grossing
sport up in this bitch.
Hell yeah. So I've been privy to this stuff for a while, and I'm not gonna say like I was in the negotiate. I wasn't, but like I've been following this story, and ESPN used to have the rights in the US. Now Apple's picked this up. Apple was the front runner for a while. One of the executives from I believe it was Formula One, had mentioned that you'll see an update soon enough, and they were basically hinting at the idea that Apple would win this. It's not a surprise. It's a big jump in terms of the valuation for F1's. A previous deal with ESPN was a lot less money, and as part of this, also somebody here like who subscribes to F1 Premium, which is like the highest tier of their own streaming service, so you can see all the different driver cameras together in like a grid and all that stuff. now I have to, starting next year, buy that F1 subscription through Apple. So part of the deal means for those of us in the US, because F1 is obviously popular, abroad a lot more than it even is in the US, where it's certainly picked up. You would have to basically pay through Apple. So I wonder if Apple gets to keep some of that revenue now, because instead of paying Formula One directly for my subscription, I would have to do it through Apple. And that's for the enhanced experience, because the default stuff, like if you just want to watch the world feed of all the events, you can get them directly on Apple TV starting next year. So this is a big deal. I mean, and F1 is a growing sport. So I love it. I think this is a good investment by Apple. And like you said, John, it's not a surprise considering they just made the movie about
it's just like, I love how like people interested in F1 gave them money, and then it's like the same amount of money they gave back to the actual sport. So like,
although it's not an upfront thing. I mean, this is going to be over time.
No, I know it's over the course of it. I know. I'm just making a funny, but it's all good. But yeah,
it's all good.
Then apparently India's Geostar reports $2 billion in half-year revenue, $400 million for streaming users. I have no idea what this is, so this is all you, Danny boy.
So this is actually significant. I mean, look at the number of users, John. 400 million users. Netflix doesn't have 400 million streaming users.
Yeah, but India's also one of the biggest countries in the world in regards to population.
I think the point I'm trying to make here is this is mind-numbing, and you can see like a lot of the popularity, like in the photo there, is driven by cricket. And the Indian team is playing the English team right now in like a special series, and then obviously cricket is a year-round sport. But you look at these numbers, India is a growing economy. I think right now 400 million users from India doesn't mean as much money as 400 million users in the US would, because what they're paying is different in terms of like the revenue that's driving. But you could see like there's a reason why a lot of streaming services have got a lot more content from the subcontinent nowadays, whether it's movies or TV shows, is because that user base is growing, and there's a lot of people there who are connected and want to watch stuff. So yeah, I mean, they have like 1.5 billion people in India alone, not to mention all the other countries that watch content coming from India and love Bollywood movies and other, Tollywood, Collywood, all the other stuff that comes out of that part of the world. So yeah, it's wild. I just wanted 400 million. 400 million is pretty much the amount of subscribers that if you combine Netflix and Amazon Prime, that pretty much gets you there. Like that's how many subscribers Geostar has alone. And Geostar actually they bought off the Disney Plus in India, basically. So in India, you watch all the Disney stuff on there, which is crazy. So I mean, and $2 billion, that is only for half a year. I mean, that number is going to keep on going up. So good for them.
Yeah,
this is great.
I mean, I kind of couldn't really care less, but like I'm happy for them. I don't really care about cricket.
It's fair enough.
No offense. But next up, Paramount re-ups horror film deal with the man who single-handedly destroyed the DCEU, Walter Hamada. The new production pact will see Hamada focus on low to mid-budget genre picks after success with the Conjuring franchise and It. Thoughts?
I think this is a good deal because he's going to be making mid to low budget genre picks for them, which is probably going to be mostly horror thrillers. So, and that's what he basically cut his teeth on at New Line Cinema. And that's why he was given charge of DC films. You could say that was a flawed strategy and maybe the results were mixed. I mean, but whether it's Black Adam, but at the same time, he also produced, Aquaman, which made $1 billion. So I think by and large, he's done good work. But honestly, at the end of the day, I think this is a good deal for Paramount. Yeah, Paramount. They brought him in a while ago. I don't know if he's done much since he's been there. Like I forget, but yeah, he's good. Like, exactly, Anthony. He's in a good spot doing what he does best for Paramount, and Paramount is happy to splash the cash. So I don't think this was like something they looked at as like, oh my god, this is the biggest thing we're gonna do all year. No, it's just adding on to the many different deals that they've made in the last couple of months. So
indeed. But next up, we have Dwayne Johnson and Benny Safdie's next movie, Lizard Music, lands at none other than Amazon MGM. So United Artists and Scott Stuber are behind the package adapting Daniel Pinkwater's novel. I'm curious about this one, even though The Smashing Machine wasn't as great as many expected it to be. I'm still curious about this because I do genuinely believe that Smashing Machine was quite good. So I'm very curious about this very strange sounding little movie.
I am also curious. I think this will be fun. I saw like it took how many hours Dwayne Johnson was in the makeup chair? Like 4 hours he talked about. And like some like a couple of dozen prosthetics to make him look like the part and the Smashing Machine. So I'm happy to see that he's continuing to, you know, try roles that will challenge him a lot more than I guess a lot of his movies have in the past. So and I think the Smashing Machine bombed at the box office because it was just one of those movies that is not going to draw an audience these days. I think it's a flawed model if you're going to give a movie, despite the fact that it had one of the biggest movie stars in the world.
He hasn't
these
been
days,
a
movie
box
stars
office
sell
draw
tickets
for years, so.
But it's also, I think in general, movie stars don't sell tickets. Like Tom Cruise
That
doesn't
too.
bring in a guaranteed $1 billion either, right? And you could say he
Like
is a big
F1
movie
made
star.
money not because of Brad Pitt, but because people internationally
movie.
love the F1.
And they love,
so
exactly. That's what it is. It's IP recognitions, which is why studios are chasing that. So again, Amazon MGM's got money to splash, and they can use a prestige film like this. So totally curious. Like curious is the word, as Enterprising was saying.
But the next thing we have is about Frankenstein. Frankenstein star Jacob Elordi needed 42 prosthetics to transform into Guillermo del Toro's monster. Everything in this movie is full scale and handmade. Just like, guys, I'm already gonna see the movie. You don't gotta keep selling it to me. Like, god damn, like I'm gonna see it. I know Jacob Elordi is iffy with me, but you know he could deliver something great. But you don't need to sell the movie. I'm already there. If I could have seen it in the theater, I would have, but alas, it was not near me, or I was too late to see it. So, you know, I'm gonna see it. I'm going to see it November 7th. Boom, right there. I'm going to watch it. So y'all need to fucking calm down.
I mean, I knew this was literally just for you. This quick hit is just for you, John. Isn't it amazing that
the India and F1 stuff is kind of mainly for you because that's business shit I don't understand. So that's all you.
But it is amazing that they let Guillermo del Toro do his thing, right? Because it's not many. Because this is the thing. This is why he hasn't directed many other IP projects lately. Because like the MCU or like they would want to have him work with like certain creative restrictions. Guillermo del Toro was like, I want to do it my way. Like, wasn't it Swamp Thing or something? Like, what was it? It was like a DC project.
He was going to do Justice League Dark.
Justice League Dark. But they were like, he was like, the way I want to do it, like they wouldn't give me the money. They wouldn't want me to do it that way. It's Netflix is clearly like, do your thing, man. Here's the money. Go do your thing. Give us the best Frankenstein movie ever. And it looks like this might be it. We'll have to wait and see, but it might be.
I mean, it'll be better than the Kenneth Branagh movie, which is let's not.
And you know what?
That.
This is coming out in theaters for a bit, right? So you can go check it out in theaters. And
I don't think it's in theaters anymore because it only had a limited release. I think it was like maybe like a week at the most. So I don't think you could see it in theaters anymore. But it depends on where you're at. So maybe.
Cool.
But next up, Disney took it over and they gave it their vision. That's what happens. George Lucas says he moved past his instinct to manage Star Wars 13 years after selling up. So, yeah, even though it's sad to see George Lucas leave his vision, even though the prequels weren't that great. But now it's run into the ground. So, whatever. He's like, I got $4 billion. I sent it all to charity. I can live luxuriously for the rest of my life. So, it's fine.
I mean, as somebody who's known for tinkering with his work for years and years, it's surprising to hear. But also when you look back at his interviews over the past couple of decades, you can see George Lucas is just saying he did it because he wanted to enjoy time with his family, right? So with that in mind, I mean, he's clearly at this point been away from Star Wars long enough that he's like, yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. That's what happens when somebody takes over. Like, Disney's going to do what they want to do with it. They paid good money to have that right to do what they wanted to do with the franchise. And here's the thing. Disney's made a lot of money. They've made pretty much most of the money they spent on Lucasfilm already back. I mean, despite the fact they've taken some big losses with the Indiana Jones movie and obviously the last of the trilogy with the sequel trilogy, but they still have the franchise and they've got a couple of movies lined up for the next few years. So we'll see if they can turn it around. But it's not a surprise. I mean,
yeah,
Disney didn't spend Bob Iger didn't spend like $4 billion or whatever they spent to get Lucasfilm just so they could continue George Lucas's vision. We know that they threw out, they basically didn't use most of the ideas he gave them. So,
and look how that turned out.
Yeah, mixed results.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt Dan talking, so I put that in the chat. But yeah, I messed up. It's coming out today, so hopefully I will see it. Because it was funny because another person I know saw it already, so I thought it was October 7th in addition to the November 7th release date for Netflix. Got it all confused. So that's what's going on.
It's all good. It's all good.
But then next up, we have a couple more quick hits. Eric Kripke is irritated that Gen V fans figured out Episode 7 twist, but even then, he gives them credit, which is more than you could say for the Westworld showrunners, which literally changed the entire show after season 2, and then they ran it into the ground. Oopsies! So, just as long as you don't do that, Eric Kripke, I think you should be fine. Even though the boys universe ain't for me, let's hope that you can keep a good thing going.
I mean, I don't know. I thought this was gonna generate a rant from John, but anyway, I'm good. I don't have anything else to add.
I don't really give a fuck about the boys anymore, but no, I just Eric Kripke. I'm
like irritated. Like, get off your soapbox, Eric. Like F you, dude. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, sorry.
But here's the thing. He still says I give them credit. Like, he still says like, all right, yeah, it's in the same breath, I'm irritated, but I give them credit. It's just like, I wish, because I think when it comes to a twist, you're like, I want the audience to be surprised, but then it's like when you guess it, it's like he's like, I'm glad that they guessed it because they're invested, but at the same time, like, I wish it was a surprise, because that's what happens when you make a twist in regards to anything. You want them to be shocked, so exactly.
Cool.
So, but yeah, next up, live action Horizon Zero Dawn movie has a working script. Sony's release plans revealed in new court document. Cool, don't care. Never played the game, not interested. Masters of the Universe synopsis reveals potentially spoilery details about He-Man's new origins. So excitement for MGM's live action Masters of the Universe continues to increase despite Jared Leto being part of the movie. But set photos showing He-Man and all this other stuff. And all this, so there's a lot of rumor mill, a lot of things going on, but thanks to He-Mania, we have a brief new translated synopsis for Master of the Universe, and it sounds like the movie it will indeed put its own spin on He-Man lore. As a child, Prince Adam is left stranded in space in an accident. He loses his powerful sword, and years later, upon returning to Eternia, he discovers that becoming He-Man depends not only on physical strength, but also on accepting fate, believing in friendship, and courage in the face of darkness. Remember, guys, the Masters of the Universe was the friends we made along the way. So the real Masters of the Universe was the friends we made along the way. So I have little hope for this. I like Travis Knight as a director. He directed one of my favorite animated movie of all time, and he directed the only good Transformers movie. So, outside of Transformers 1 and the original animated film, but those are animated. So the only good live action Transformers movie. So, this could be something, but I don't have a ton of faith in it, especially when Jared Leto is fucking Skeletor. Like, if he was like Man at Arms or a bit part, fine, but he's gonna be fucking Skeletor. Is like, oh, this is gonna be bad, isn't it? Okay, cool, great.
I mean, I got no dog in the fight. I hope it's a good movie.
I hope it's good, but I don't have faith in it.
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
But that's it for the quick hits, guys. So thanks for joining us on quick hit time. So, but unfortunately, Dan has to leave us because he has other plans. So now you're stuck with me for the rest of the time and into Fancast Fridays, where we will be talking about Henry Cavill in the DCU. Don't worry, I used one of your suggestions, Dan, so it'll be a-okay. But thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us, and I'm glad you were able to be here for at least most of the time. So thanks, Dan,
Yeah,
for
no,
your time.
thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Now get the fuck out. Okay, now we're I'm just
Wow, mid-sentence too. Damn. All right, cool.
no,
Yeah,
here
well,
we go. But thank you.
have a great
for your
weekend,
time.
everybody. But DCU Daily's coming. DCU Daily's coming up.
DCU Daily is going to be coming soon. All the Snyder cultists in the chat are going to go up in arms, but we're here to talk about it. So Dan will not be here to talk about it, but you have me still. So let's get into the wonderful world of DC.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here. Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka, hunka.
Okay, guys, welcome to DCU Daily. I am your host, John, and it's just me for right now, so welcome. But we're here to talk about DC, and we're going to get into DC quick hits. We're not going to put on the music, of course. Don't worry, you don't got to worry about that. Unless you like the music, then sorry, we're not putting on the music. And then we're going to be talking about the general nature of DC versus Marvel, and then we are going to be doing a quick Q&A. Not a ton of comments, but enough comments. And then we're going to be fast tracking into Fancast Friday. But before we do all of that, let's get into our DC quick hits, the Parrots, Ducks, Pelicans of DCU news. Well, the first thing maybe people will be happy about is Grant Morrison had some things to say. When they were in a Reddit AMA, they were asked, hey, what are your thoughts on Superman, considering that your work heavily inspired the film with All-Star Superman, which many consider to be the greatest Superman comic book story of all time. And Grant Morrison, unsurprisingly, said, I thought it was the best Superman movie yet. So all you people that were worried that Grant Morrison might not like it, well, they did like it. So congrats to that's I personally don't think it's the best either. I agree with Tony. Sorry, Christopher Reeve original is still the best, but this is the second best. That's not saying much considering the only other good movies are Superman 2 and the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, if we're talking live action. But I think no, not the difference. There's a difference. There's Snyder fans and Snyder cultists. Snyder fans like the movie, but they can accept that it's over and still appreciate and like and even prefer Zack Snyder's movies to what James Gunn is doing or what any other directors are doing. However, the cultists aspect comes into the fact where you can't view anything other than Zack Snyder's work as proper DC, bully people and troll people like you've been kind of doing in the chat this whole time, for people that don't like his vision. That's the culty part. That's the ones that like prop Zack Snyder on a pedestal and just kind of go on and on and on about how he's the greatest filmmaker that's ever lived and that kind of thing. So yes, you can like Man of Steel, you can like BVS, you can like Watchmen, Sucker Punch, Dawn of the Dead, you can like all his films all you want, just don't be an asshole about it. That's all we ask. Yeah, I didn't appreciate the marks that Figure Drawing was saying to you guys. Don't call people dumb fucks unless 300. That's another one. I'm just saying, just don't be an asshole. Try not to, and that's to the other people in the chat that were calling them dumb fucks. Don't be an asshole either. Just try to be friends. That's all. Just don't insult each other, because if you insult people, you're gonna get insulted back, and that's just a consequence. Just saying. Anyway, but let's move on. Next quick hit that we have is Jim Lee on Superman entering the public domain. The character isn't the magic. With Superman set to enter the public domain in 2034, which is less than a decade away, DC Comics is already preparing its defense for why their version of the Man of Steel will remain the definitive one. Speaking at New York Comic Con 2025 Retailers Day on October 8th, DC President Jim Lee addressed the looming copyright expiration with a message that was equal parts confident and philosophical. His argument: anyone can use Superman, but only DC truly understands him. Lee drew comparisons to the recent Mickey Mouse public domain situation, acknowledging the inevitable wave of knockoffs and adaptations, but he insisted that the real value lies not in the character himself, but in the storytelling and world building that surrounds him. Anyone can draw a cape, anyone can write a hero, but Superman only feels right when he's in the DC universe, our mythos, our universe. So I think, I can kind of see what he's saying. I think he means it in one. Oh yeah. List. He missed a lot of stuff. Anyway. So here's the thing. So the public domain in regards to Superman, the only thing that is in the public domain is stuff from 1938. I believe that's what it is. So pretty much anything in regards to like early golden age Superman, like he can't fly, he's he only has super strength, flight, and invulnerability, I believe. And it's pretty much he can wear the tights, the trunks, the blue spandex, the cape, the boots, and the S that kind of looks like a gold symbol and then like a red S. So essentially you can look that's Superman, you can use that, but you can't use anything like beyond that. Like you can use like early golden age stuff. Same with Batman when he becomes public domain in I believe 2035. You can only use the Batman with the weird horns, the purple gloves, the weird long cape. You can only use early golden age stuff for your movie, kind of like how you can only use Steamboat Willie for like your Mickey Mouse knockoffs. You can use the character of Mickey Mouse and then yes, leap tall buildings in a single bound. Yes, he didn't even fly back then. It was mainly the Fleischer stuff that caused him to fly because it was easier to animate than him jumping. So yeah, a lot of major comic writers from Mark Waid just seem to, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people understand the character in DC. Like, a lot of people don't understand the character at DC. But Jim Lee is, remember, he's trying to like boister the brand for the most part. There is that because I mean he is the head and he's trying to do that. But like honestly, you don't even have to say anything. It's like, okay, you have this uber specific 1 year domain of Superman that you can use. Meanwhile, we have the other like 80 to 85 year history of him. So it's like, okay, you can use this really tiny little thing, but you can't use the rest of it. So it's like, I don't think he really needs to say anything. I think he is being very confident, but I think he has to be because again, he's a businessman at heart. So that would be kind of funny. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But I think I just think that like it's a whole mess of things. I'm gonna try and keep it quick, but I don't think he even needed to say anything. You got this whole long history that you still have attached to your brand that people can't use. And you don't need to like pretty much honestly, you don't really even need to do it. You really don't need to do or say anything, but he is sounding a little pompous. I understand why, but I get it. So yeah, I just think people are gonna have a fun time with it, not just make a million horror movies, but it'll be certainly interesting when that comes to pass 9 years from now. But I'm not going to try and waste your time even more so let's move on. But speaking of Superman, the Absolute Trinity officially makes an appearance in DCKO since this whole thing was bolstered around Absolute and DCKO, so it makes sense that these guys would appear. But the three destroyers, he calls them. horsemen from a world where his rule is absolute, monsters, and these are just some of the horrors that await. But if you want to know the real truth, the final one, I'll tell you, it's that none of them win. Not Clark, not Diana, not Mario or Eel, none. Because that's because what they don't know is that there is one last champion among them. And yeah. So it's so they have made their appearance in the mainline DCU or mainline DC Comics. Also, hello. Nice to see you. Good evening, movie spud. Dan Mora, if Chimley's art actually evolved over time. Ooh, ouch. But like true. But very cool to see. So if you're interested in DCKO, it's running now. Batman has already died, so spoiler alert. But absolute vodka. Honestly, maybe. But next up we have Frank Grillo on Rick Flag Senior's revenge in the Peacemaker finale. There was finally closure to the arc for me. I've gotten rid of him. It's the end of Peacemaker. So that's a very interesting thing to talk about. Frank Grillo calls it the end of Peacemaker. Now, obviously, he's not James Gunn and he's not Peter Safran, so he doesn't have the authority to say that, oh, yeah, this guy is dead and we're never going to see him again, because obviously James Gunn said, we are going to see him again. We'll just see where he ends up in regards to all of this. So, very interesting way of going about it, but it's kind of an interesting way in terms of how he worded it. So, very interesting indeed. Sure. But yeah, very interesting to say. I kind of agree with that. So it seems like that Frank Grillo is Frank Grillo. I think that's Rick Flag Sr. is Rick Flag Sr. Because a lot of people are saying that, like, oh, he's Clayface, he's not actually the character. Now, he could be totally lying through his teeth here, like many others have done in DC. However, I'd like to believe, I don't think it's Clayface, but we'll see as time goes on. But I don't think it's him. Because he said this is for Ricky at the end of the episode. So yeah. Yeah, somebody else can just yeah, that's what I was trying to click on. But we already have multiple and it's easy to make your own. You don't really need to use the official one, so it's fine. But if you want to, then there you go. But now from moving on to Superman to Batman stuff. But apparently, Batman Cape Crusader showrunner James Tucker says they didn't receive any notes from DC's producer Matt Reeves. Instead, Reeves supported the series. He understands our show is separate from the movies. The only thing we may have in common is that both versions of Batman come from a more detective angle. Tucker confirmed season 2 is in final touches and set to be released sometime next year. So, very interesting. Matt Reeves gives his big ol' thumbs up to the whole thing. But yeah, that's good to see. I hope it's a lot better than season 1, because I really did not care for season 1. So let's hope that that it's actually good this time around. So we'll see, but I'm not holding my breath. Next up, Batgirl star Jacob Scipio says he saw the movie before it was scrapped and shares his review. In regards to in regards to what people have said, Peter Safran, of course, said that Batgirl was not releasable, but hey, neither was The Flash, and look how that turned out. Zaz having the team for making a very bold decision, an outrageous decision to cancel it because it would have hurt DC. Bro, fucking 2023 in a nutshell already fucking hurt you. Zack Snyder did irreparable damage to your fucking brand. One more movie wouldn't have added to it. All right, let's just keep that in mind. But Jacob Scipio said, I got the chance to watch it, and it was a phenomenal film. Man, I'm really sad the world never got to see it, but you never know. You never know. It was great that they saved Coyote versus Acme. I'm going to have a ticket and be buying my ticket and seeing that movie myself, so there's always hope. Hollywood's a funny place, and I think if enough people want it, it can happen. It could be an Elseworld tear, of course, but the moment has passed. No, I didn't care one way or the other. Big fun, nice check. Keaton said last year, I like Batgirl directors. They're nice guys. I pull for them, want them to succeed, and I think they felt very badly, and they made me feel bad. I'm good. Yeah, it shows that Keaton really could not give a flying fuck about this franchise anymore, even if he tried, even though people still think he's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. So, yeah, unsurprisingly, the guy in the movie who acted in the movie said the movie was good. Crazy. So, obviously, I mean, here's the thing about Batgirl. If this thing ever gets released, it probably won't. But if it does, I can't imagine it's any worse than The Flash or Aquaman 2 or, fucking Birds of Prey or Wonder Woman 1984. I can't imagine it's worse than all of those. So, um, exactly. I think it's just like, oh, it would have hurt DC, but it's like you released the Flash. Like, hello? I can't imagine it being any worse than that. Like, maybe it sucks. I don't know, but like I can't imagine that it's that much worse than that. So obviously we just have to dream for now and kind of just move on. Last but not least, Lantern's official merch leads to speculation that DCU series may introduce or build towards spoiler. But this is what JC was talking about earlier. They said something in regards to like merch being taken down, and this is what they were talking about. But so this is from an official from the official DCU Lantern show. A Redditor made a video pointing out how that it might tease the center, and WB forced him to take it down. So the spiral in the middle of the Green Lantern logo, which you can kind of see right here, on the cap, has led to the speculation that the series will either introduce or lay the groundwork for the center, aka Dinosaur Island, which is what you guys have also said in the chat for the past couple months. I forget who said it specifically, but a lot of people were saying the center, the center, the center. I don't know if you guys read rumors or just made those rumors yourself, but that's the big thing. But this incredibly powerful sentient island was an eldritch being that debuted in the New Frontier and would certainly make for a formidable big bad for the DCU in an eventual Justice League movie or not. Let's see. But the theory might be a bit flimsy based on the logo alone, but a Reddit user reportedly uploaded a video outlining how he believes the events of the Peacemaker Season 2 finale, primarily the discovery of salvation, and the terrifying mystery at the heart of Lanterns will ultimately build towards Earth's superheroes uniting to combat the threat of Dinosaur Island, which was promptly deleted. What do you make of this theory? And yeah, exactly. What are your guys' thoughts? Essentially, this was Lanterns merch and first look logo. But the page doesn't exist, as you can see. But the most we got was this little picture right here of the cap. Yeah, so it's definitely interesting. I don't think okay. But yeah, I don't think this means anything for now, but a lot of people have been talking about the center, so obviously we will see. But let me know your guys' theories in regards to the center and if it's a big part of Lanterns and if that actually means anything. I don't think it means anything. I just think it means that this is merch from the show. Don't show merch from the show. I don't think it has any, like, he could have said anything. He could have said the sky is green and grass is blue, and they still would have said to take it down because they're just showing off merch. And DC is probably going to now take down this video because we're showing off merch. So, but obviously we'll see. It could mean something, but it could also not mean anything at all. It's just like they're showing off the merch, so don't show off the merch, essentially. Yeah, it's a bit of an ugly hat, if I do say so myself. But what are you guys fucking talking about in the chat? But that leads into this whole debacle in regards to DC versus Marvel, even those really uniting to combat bad movies and being something for the fans, but that's just me. So we will obviously get into who won 2025. Did the MCU or the DCU win? We'll see, and we're going to be talking about that now because the last gasp of Marvel actually is no longer happening in 2025 because now it's been moved to 2026 with Wonder Man, the Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, a show that features one of Superman's big bads in regards to dictator of um, the dictator of Bolavia. I forget Bialia. I forget what it was, but yes. So we're gonna be talking a little bit about it. So it's only mid-October, but that's it for the new movies and TV shows from Marvel Studios and DC Studios. So we got a whole bunch of stuff. Now we'll see who really won, and we're going to be looking at it from more of a logistics point of view. But obviously, okay, so that's what you're saying. All right. But obviously, let's try to move on from the Batgirl talk. We're now talking about DC and Marvel. But first things first, no matter how many people say that it was a failure, Superman was the year's box office winner. So the last time a DCU movie made over $500 million at the worldwide box office was Aquaman, when it succeeded expectations by making $1 billion. Pretty much 2023 was a huge disaster after flops like Shazam Fury of the Gods, The Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, leaving the final note of the DCEU, Patrick Wilson eating a cockroach inside a hamburger. Yep. But while some did better than others and Blue Beetle did okay critically, most of those movies were considered bad by fans, even though I liked Fury of the Gods, but that's just me. But Fantastic Four First Steps couldn't compete with its $520 million haul, along with Captain America Brave New World, which was a big flop, and Thunderbolts, which was an even bigger flop, even though Thunderbolts was critically well received. So 2024 also having almost no comic book movies come out that year, with the exception of Folie à Deux, and Deadpool and Wolverine. So that was a smaller year. But it seems like James Gunn delivered a win for fans and general audiences alike. There are still many that did not like the film, and that's okay. It's okay if you don't like the movie. But just going by from what general audiences have said, yeah. But yeah, Superman was the year's box office winner. Winner, not winter, winner. The MCU has a more exciting future. As we head into 2026, 2026 has a pretty big year, and honestly, both have an exciting slate for the next year, but it seems like Marvel has a better future because they have the first part of an Avengers two-parter. They have their biggest moneymaker with Spider-Man. They have Daredevil Born Again, which was still, even though with a rough season 1 of Born Again, still revered, and Daredevil is still one of the best TV heroes of that Marvel has. And then you have Vision Quest, which is being helmed by Terry Matalas. You have Wonder Man, which has gotten a mixed reception from fans, but it does have Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who is considered a great addition to your franchise. So and then of course new seasons of animated fare in regards to Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is premiering in fall, and then X-Men 97, which I think is premiering in the summer. And X-Men 97 was culturally revered by pretty much everybody who's an X-Men fan, so that was huge. And then Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man was a huge surprise that many considered was not going to be good, but then it actually was really good. So it seems like, I think that but Supergirl is a big but the thing is, with what DC has in store, which is Supergirl, Lanterns, and Clayface, 3 very different movies. You have a cosmic adventure, a grounded a true detective like mystery, and then a body horror film. Very different fares than rather, the same kind of things over and over again that Marvel is offering. So it just kind of depends on what you want. But it seems like, I guess so. But it seems like MCU is still going for quantity over quality, while Supergirl, Lanterns, and Clayface, and then Batman Cave Vader in addition to that. as well. So, but yeah, Captain America: Brave New World may have killed the franchise, considering that people seem to be not ready for a black Captain America. In addition to a lot of reshoots, even though it wasn't as long as a lot of people made it out to be. Jeff Snyder, I'm looking at you. But it seemed like they were trying to like have a lot of quantity stuff, and it just kind of didn't work out. So we probably won't be getting a Captain America 5 anytime soon. I don't blame that on Anthony Mackie. I feel kind of bad for him because he could have gotten something good, and then it just turned out to not be the case. But yeah, and then but Daredevil Born Again beats Peacemaker. Yeah, after a very what many consider a lackluster finale for Peacemaker, a lot of people think that Daredevil Born Again was the superior one. And nobody gave a fuck about Ironheart. But so yeah, it seems like you know, while many people still liked season 2 of Peacemaker, the finale seemed to ruin it for people. Um, yeah, in terms of the movies, yes. But even then, and this is a very poor picture of thing, unfortunately, but Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four were a step in the right direction. A lot of people praise Thunderbolts. Hell, even a friend of mine who notoriously despises the MCU gave a reasonably positive review for Thunderbolts and gave an overwhelmingly positive review for Fantastic Four First Steps. I haven't seen Thunderbolts either. I thought Fantastic Four was kind of mid, but it is a step in the right direction. So it might add into the future that maybe Marvel is learning. Then one can only hope that that's the case. But you know, that's funny. But yeah. So that brings in the whole future vibes. Superman was actually exactly what the genre needed. I agree. It definitely gave something very different in terms of structure and how it handled that and what it did for the friends. So I think it's relatively even. Some had failures, some didn't. I think it's just up to the person who thinks MCU or DCU won. Personally, I think from a movie standpoint, I think it's safe to say that DC won, but from a TV standpoint, I think the MCU won. Because even though Ironheart got mixed to negative reviews, Daredevil Born Again got mixed to negative reviews. Peacemaker, I think they kind of killed it with that finale, even though I liked it and a lot of other people thought it was okay. I think that was just like kind of an iffy, rocky surface that, yeah. Well, I mean, remember, you also have Clayface coming out next year, so there is that as well. But honestly, same here. But yeah, next up. So speaking of Peacemaker, this is what what people were thinking of Peacemaker. So even though for the most part, season 1 was pretty even, pretty much all in the 8s, with like pretty much episode 4 and on getting higher and higher and higher until that grandiose finale. It kind of had grades, stumbled a little bit, but then it like got back up. So meanwhile, it seemed like Peacemaker season 2 was a little bit more jagged, like, oh, really good, then pretty good, then really good again, then pretty good, then really good, really good, really good, and then really went down. So I don't know what the averages are, but we will see. Yeah, it's fake news for now because it's just people who hate James Gunn and want their god Zack Snyder to come in and save the day. Essentially, it's just after one bad episode of Peacemaker that they're like, oh nope, yep, DCU failed, it's gone, it's done, it's over, we're moving on. So I think yeah, Paramount has god damn, I don't know if you hear the police outside, but God. But Paramount, they offered a bid. WB rejected it. Obviously, we'll see. But yeah, it's pretty much fake news. It's bullshit. It's all, it's nothing. Don't worry about it for now. But yeah, so while season 2, like season 1 was an overall high, season 2 was a little bit more jagged, but it had but episodes 6 and 7, 6, 7, had pretty much higher than all the episodes combined, but it's just that finale that a lot of people did not like. Um, but yeah, these are all speaking of everything, these are all the MCU projects coming out in, speaking of Wonder Man, of course, speaking of Wonder Man, so this is all the stuff that's going to be coming out in 2026, and let's see if it hits. Got quantity, let's see if it's quality wise, because you got Wonder Man, which is, relatively mixed to positive. I saw a couple people hating on it, but for the most part, seems like people like it because it's different, because you have an actual superhero show commenting on superhero fatigue, which is definitely a neat idea. It just looks kind of ridiculous to me. And then you have Daredevil Born Again, despite a rocky start. Hopefully season 2 is even better. Then the thing that was not mentioned in that previous article is that the Punisher is, gonna be having his special presentation that John Berthal co-wrote. Then you have X-Men 97 in the summer, which I was correct about. Then you have Spider-Man Brand New Day, Spider-Man back to back, Spider-Man in July, along with Tom Holland's other project, The Odyssey, under Christopher Nolan. Then you have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man in fall, and then Vision Quest late 2026. And then the very last thing is December 18th with Doomsday. So it seems like Marvel, they got the quantity. To be fair, Wonder Man is a delay. So I think this is a bit much, but in terms of films, we're only getting one film, kind of, with we're only getting two films with Spider-Man Brand New Day and Avengers Doomsday. So you're only getting two films. And then on the live action TV side of things, you're getting 3 seasons of television, whether it's a mini series or like a ongoing series. You have at least one ongoing series and 2 either maybe ongoing series or 2 mini series, depending on. Well, I again, it's messy. Anyway, so you have 2 films, 2 films, 2 films, 2 films. I misread it wrong. That was my bad. I forgot about Spider-Man for a second. 2 films. Then you have 3 series, 3 live action series. One for sure is ongoing because it's a season 2, and then Wonder Man and Vision Quest, if they're successful, might get a season 2. If not, they're just going to be mini series. And then you have, in terms of ongoing series, you have, for the animation side, you have X-Men 97 and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And then you have a special presentation, which Marvel is bringing back after they said that would never happen again after the holiday special. So, no, I just read it wrong. I'm like, it's towards the end. But yeah, so this is what Marvel has in store. In terms of the only 4 projects that DC has for next year, well, at least 4 confirmed projects, with Supergirl in June, Lanterns somewhere in late spring, early summer, Clayface September 11th, and Batman Cape Crusader season 2, which is probably going to come out in the summer. But yeah, so it seems like Marvel's got the quantity and maybe DC has the quality. We'll see how that goes. Then finally, which brings all of this to an end, James Gunn talking about how Peacemaker is very much like his father. This was during the podcast when they were talking about the finale and how he got very emotional about it. So yeah, it's he just talked about how Peacemaker was this nice touching tribute, and like how he spoke through the show to talk to his father, which was a very nice yeah, the man deserves it after Aquaman the Lost Kingdom fucking wasted him, and then Watchmen, that fucking goddamn horrible makeup. The man needs a superhero win. So, he went to the shit fucks down the street. So we will see how that is. So it just shows that James Gunn puts a personal touch on a lot of his films, and it's very nice to see. And it's a very wholesome way of talking about this. But who do you think won 2025? Do you think it was DC? Do you think it was Marvel? Or do you think it's a bit of both? Bit of both. But going with the Star-Lord way of thinking. But that is not all for today, guys. We still have a Q&A. So we are going to be getting to Q&A. We have 3 comments from you guys, so we will talk about those. The first thing was from Elite Easy E talking about James Gunn's process in regards to making films versus what came out prior. Elite Easy said, watching a video essay comparing the Suicide Squad, or I think he meant the Suicide Squad, with Wonder Woman 1984. In a clip used, Gunn states, I'm also really open to listening to other people's ideas. It doesn't mean I always take them, but costume designer Juliana Makovsky and costume designer Juliana and Makovsky production designer Beth are like my creative partners, and I'm with them a lot, and they're whispering things in my ear. I don't really like that hair. It's not working for me because I've learned to trust them over a long time now. And we really have an open communication with all of that stuff. And he goes on to say, make sure that my vision is the same as Juliana's. I think that's her full name. Damn. Okay. I didn't know how you pronounce it. So if I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. Is the same as Henry Brahm's vision. The cinematographer is the same as Beth Mickey's vision. And we're all seeing the movie before we ever make it. I also want to say that via the podcast, Peter Safran was the one who suggested the Salvation stuff to be added on. Either way, I liked it all. So this is just, James Gunn kind of being transparent about everything, but thank you for the comment, Elite Easy. Love to see it. But it's just like James Gunn being transparent in the process, and he wants, to be a unified vision across all fronts, caring about what his crew thinks, and it's just not the director wins over everything. It's explaining that James Gunn views this as a collaborative process and wants that collaborative process to mimic what everyone is thinking about. So I appreciate that and respect that majorly. But Kyle, thank you for your comment. Love to see it. But he thinks DC won 2025. But whoever you think it is, still love to see it. Yes, I did forget about that. Thank you, Hunter. I knew I was forgetting something. But yes, My Adventure with Superman Season 3 is also supposed to come out next year, which is going to feature Superboy. So that's going to be interesting. What was the question? Who do you think won, DC or Marvel? Who do you think won? That's what I was talking about. Who do you think won, DC or Marvel this year? Anyway, next up, another comment to the Lazarian, aka the main man. Oh darn, I forgot to see Jared let go, just like I forgot to go see Ezra. Yep, we have the main man, Lobo himself, being based as hell because fuck Jared Leto and fuck Tron Ares. But love to see it. I just thought this was funny in one of the shorter comments that we had. And then finally, another Elite Easy E comment. Okay, maybe I'm more cynical than others, but I did see one reaction to Rick Flag dissing Harcourt where they thought he was Clayface. I could see how it can be jarring. So this was in regards to the theory. I talked about it briefly before that Rick Flag was Clayface, but there are a lot of things that prove that otherwise, but it definitely could be that the case. We'll see. But I don't think he's Clayface, but I can see why people think he's Clayface because of the inconsistencies. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people others say it is, but I think there is tiny inconsistencies that could have been fleshed out better over the course of the season. But that's just me. But that's fair. But thank you. Oh, DC. Some questions. Yeah, no questions. No questions for the Q&A because people don't be asking fucking questions. So enterprising. If you're upset the fact that there's no questions, how about you leave a question in the comments below? And not just for you, for anybody watching. So if you have a question for us or anything we're talking about, please leave it in the comments down below after we go live because we appreciate your comments, and the Q&A showcases that we appreciate the people who even watch it after the fact. After that we are live. So thank you for your comments. Even though we couldn't get everybody's comments, we still appreciate all of them, and we thank you for them. With that, let's bring DCU Daily to a close for now. But the ride ain't over yet. We still have to talk about Fancast Friday. So give me a couple minutes. Got to set that up. And we are going to be setting up all the great things in regards to Fancast Friday. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today, even all the trolls. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the algorithms. Thanks for the comments, because it boosts everything up. So, but even then, we still appreciate all of you. We got Tony and Enterprising, Movie Spud, Kyle Kaiswetter, Morkana, Luke Canal, I think that was one, WB Mitt, or whatever the hell his name was. Yes, it is indeed Henry Cavill time. But thank you, everyone, for watching. We love and appreciate all of you. Make sure to, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. And I already mentioned, go comment. If you're frustrated that we're not, answering questions, well, people aren't asking questions, so ask them in the comments. So that is also true. Henry Cavill time. Anytime is Henry Cavill time. But again, thanks for watching all. We will see you later. Why don't we carry us out, James Gunn? Thank you for watching.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka!
And fuck Jeff Snyder, too.